Hey folks, this is Iliya with TWRAPS and I'll show you how to install the hood paint protection film for the Lucid Air. I'll be installing the full hood, which consists of multiple pieces. There is one here, and one big one in the middle and here. We split it into multiple pieces so you have a chance of installing this yourself without being a professional installer. And before you begin, I must emphasize you need to clean the hood really well. The other thing to keep in mind is that because there are multiple pieces, I'll start with the big one. I need to preserve the rest of the film for until I'm done with the big one, and I need to preserve it in a way that it's still clean. So this is the film. I'll just open it. And before I lay it on the hood, I'll spray the hood just a little bit with soapy water so that the film doesn't slide. Now we have to figure out the orientation of the film. It seems I got lucky. Okay, let me show you how you take this off from the adhesive backing. First, you want to spray it with soapy water. And then we start peeling from one side and spraying the adhesive side with soapy water. Now that I'm halfway through, I'll spray the backing a little bit and I'll return the film. And I'll repeat the same on the other side. Be generous with the water because you don't want the film sticking onto itself. Okay, now the next step is to fold the film under, to fold this under the actual film. Now I'll spray the hood with soapy water and I'll grab this half of the film and put it on the hood. Then I'll grab the other part, put it on top of the first part, and now I have the backing with the rest of the pieces free to go. Make sure you have a place where you can store it safely, mostly in a clean environment, maybe not on the floor, so that you can go back to this when we're done with the main piece. Now I'll spray the hood some more. And the paint protection film. And it's time to align it. You want to align it in a way that it's symmetrical on all sides. And if you have large bubbles under the film, take them out with your hand. Don't use the squeegee yet. Just enough so that the film is laying flat and you have an accurate idea of its position on the hood. I should mention about the alignment that besides that it needs to be symmetrical, you need to make sure that these corners here are properly aligned, meaning that the film doesn't overlap and go inside this curve, because the next piece is going to be here. Now that I think that my alignment is somewhat decent, I will first squeegee in the middle like this. That would make the film more stable. And now I'll do the rest one side at a time. Have in mind that you can realign as you go, and if you find out that you made a mistake somewhere that you already squeegeed, as long as it's been recent, not like in 2 days, you can always lift up the film, respray with soapy water, and position again. And by the way, at this time of the installation, don't waste time perfecting the edges at the bottom or on the top. We'll do that in the end. Okay, now that most of the film has been applied, I'll spray it one more time on top. And I'll do the squeegeeing one more time to reduce the risk of having any water left by accident. When using the squeegee, make sure you apply pressure. You want the squeegee to really hit hard on the hood to reduce the risk of having water. Now that the main piece is mostly installed, as I said, you can leave the edges for now. We can do this later. I'll move on to the other pieces. Now I'll install this piece, spray again, take the piece and make sure it's sprayed on both sides, front and back. And position. Now I'll take some of the water out so that the film is still slippery but not that slippery. And the two pieces should meet perfectly. Now, if your alignment wasn't perfect, and I know it's rather difficult to get a perfect alignment, it is possible to end up with small gaps or small overlaps, or both, depending on how you position the film. Have in mind that once the film cures in a couple of days, those will be almost invisible. Okay, now I have the initial positioning of this. piece, and I'll move on to the last piece on this side, and then I'll show you how to handle the edges. Again, don't forget, spray. Now that my 3 pieces are positioned, it's time to fix the edges and do the final touches. For the next part, you need a bottle of clean water without soap, the provided plastic squeegee, and a heat gun or a hair dryer. I'll first spray the edges with clean water, and I'll try to get inside wherever the film is kind of showing up. I'll spray inside. The purpose of this is to remove the soap from the edges so that they would not be so slippery and they would stick. Now, again using the plastic squeegee, I'll try to finish the edges. And I'll be using the heat gun only for the most stubborn edges. I didn't like my alignment there, so as you can see, you can lift up the film, respray and reposition. Now let's use the heat gun to seal all the places where the paint protection film is still not sticking. Another thing that may come in handy here is a microfiber, so that you can wipe and see what's happening. Now I'll move on to this piece where it goes down. Because it's been a while since this has been placed, it's getting dry, so I'll lift up a bit and respray. Okay, we're almost done. Actually, this side is now done. I'll do the front of the hood, and then the other side is absolutely the same. I'll again spray inside this with clean water. Now let's take that water and we'll finish it with the heat gun. Now notice that we've designed the film to wrap around the edge here just a tiny bit. It's very easy when you're using the heat gun. But first I'll get the big creases out and then I'll do the wrapping. Notice that once you get that water out and the film starts to dry, all these creases go away, and that wrapping around the front edge is as easy as just push with the squeegee. Now I put the squeegee inside the microfiber to allow me to capture some of the water that's still leaking out. You can also pop the front trunk open if you feel that would be easier for you. But again, the wrapping around this front edge is so little that you don't really need to. Also notice that for this wrapping around, I'm using the plastic side of the squeegee, not the felt side. And that's pretty much it. There is no need to waste more of your time with this installation video. I'll just keep at it on this car until I'm done. But that's how you install this. I just need to do more of the heat gun work here and then just repeat the same steps on the driver's side as the steps that I took on the passenger side. And there you have it. You get a full hood protection. Thanks for watching.